Hello, and welcome to Dear Dana. Tonight's topic will be about flirting. The art of flirting. Is it dead or alive? And how does it differ from what it used to be? What are we doing about flirting now? Do we still angst about it? How long has it been since you flirted? Is it important to still flirt when you're in a relationship? Let's talk about these things. I'll be back in just a second. And here we go. And I'm back. Welcome, Paranormal Witch Pixie and JC Bear and Kim Taylor, Southern Fried and Gluten Free. How long has it been since you flirted? I try to remind myself to flirt with my husband on occasion. I do. Because it's so easy to forget to do that. It keeps things alive. I think, hey, Ordered Steps, so nice to see you here. As everybody can see, I'm only human. Doing YouTube Live still makes me super nervous before I start. I still get anxious like I'm going on a date. Hey, Jenny M. So happy to see you here. What is it about going live that makes you feel like you're going on a date? Shoot, I think I feel more nervous doing this than when I was going on dates. Unless it was certain someones. Now, don't confuse flirting with thinking it's only set aside for certain someones that you're particularly interested in. There's different factions of flirting. Sometimes it's just fun to generally flirt. You see people doing it on the daily. You may be checking out at the register and the person behind the counter. Give a little flirt there. And sometimes you're not quite sure, were they flirting or being really nice, right? You just don't know. Sometimes you might get a special on a cut of meat that week if you're at the butcher. Hey, I'll take it. No harm, no foul. Not going on a date with them. Have you ever flirted, or let's say they flirted first, right? You were at a store and they flirted first and you just rolled with it. You didn't do anything out of the way. You just didn't run when they flirted, but it got you a deal on something. Are you not going to accept that deal because they flirted with you and you're going to walk away? Or are you going to accept that deal? Is it 50% off? Is it 40% off? I would be tempted to accept that deal. Would you? Now, I have seen guys, messy guys in bars, that would flirt with just about any girl in there. Maybe not any girl, but if they thought they could get lucky that night. The messiest flirting you have ever heard. On repeat. Right? Stuff you've heard over and over again. Hey, Vintage Optimism, I didn't see you, honey. Thank you for being here. Shoot, I can't see with my glasses these days, so they're not much good. I'm so happy to see you here. I wish they'd let you blow up the letters in the chat or make the letters darker or something. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you let me know in the chat? We all know I was talking on Adam yesterday and had myself muted. Well, I will fix that, but I don't hardly ever see you here, so I just didn't know. Good. Usually you're asleep by this time. So if you're still interested, I'll fix it. Shoot, I just got Eden's fixed today because every time I try to put somebody in there, it throws them back out. I just was able to fix Jenny today. And that's the truth. I had to get Eden to fix herself. It wouldn't accept her YouTube channel, even when I would type it in. Black Lavender is in the house. I want everybody. I don't care if you blank your face out. I want everybody, please. That's a bad flirt, right? I want everybody to participate and tell me how flirting goes for them. Or maybe what's worked for them, what's not worked for them, what's worked on them, what kind of flirting works. And I cannot even imagine. I've had some people flirt with me on Instagram. Usually I ignore. I had a UK guy. It was kind of funny because I thought he was a catfish flirting with me. I even told him I was married. I told my husband about him. And I was doing a lot of therapy I don't want to say undercovers. That sounds bad. Unconsciously on him, trying to direct him to be more social and find a human being closer to him. And he would try to keep flirting. And my daughter saw it and she had a meltdown. And I explained to her it was no big deal and it was fine. She was so worried. But she said, he threw a eggplant. I didn't know what the eggplant stood for. I know now. I was like, oh, that's so bad when you have to equate an eggplant with a ping. Disgusting. I understand the peach aspect. Let's see what Paranormal's saying. I got flirt when I was single. I got free soda. That was 29 before I had my kids. Free soda's always good. Oh, that's so sweet. My dad, at one time, after he was no longer on radio, he had a magazine and it had advertisements in it. And this was before I was doing psychotherapy and things like that. I still write my husband love notes. Now that is sweet. That is very sweet. Does he write you love notes too, Kim? But my dad had me selling advertisement for him. And at one place was a car lot. And I remember this man, I went to sell him advertisement and he was supposed to give me, hello, Adam Harris. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to see you. He was supposed to give me copy for advertisement. Copy is like what they want in their ad and how they want it broken down, if they want, certain deals in there, etc., where they want it to go. So I went to get it and he was working on a car and I walked in there in a dress and heels and stuff to go get his copy because I was a contact person. And he was talking to me. He was under the hood and I was on the side of the vehicle. I didn't want to go where the hood was. And he comes around and he pins me against the wall. And then he does it for probably 30 seconds or more, and I'm like, oh crap. And then he stares me in the face, and then he finally kind of lets go and moves past me and tells me to hold on and he's going to get it for me. And then he sort of stares me down here and there. I got that copy and I went to my dad and said, I am never going back to that place again. No way. And my dad said, it was out in the open. He didn't hurt you. I hate that this happened. We can't report him, etc., etc. And I was like, I don't care. You're going. And my dad tried to explain to me, this is going to happen when you're in advertising. This is years ago. I was like barely 20, 21, 20. So, and then, I go to another place and a man's handing me his phone number there. That was their older. I mean, they were older than me. I guess that was their way of flirting. To me, it was like horrifying. And, I guess it was the name of the game. They thought they're going to buy advertising from you and you're going to flirt with him and they can kind of say what they want. Nope. Nada. That was their way of flirting, I guess. Put it this way, I got out of that racket. I was no longer going to sell advertising. It's just, I know once upon a time, women felt like flirting was their strength in some ways. And it was unequal power, especially, I wasn't around then, but back in the 50s and everything. Men made the money mostly. Women had to rely on their femininity and looks, things like that. So they would flirt to get their way. Flirt to leverage your power. Oh my gosh, what's your favorite corny joke? But now that times are changing, the power is different. How do you make a tissue dance? How do you make a tissue dance? Are you from Tennessee? Because you were the only 10 I see. Now that's a line and a half. I can imagine being on the net or trying to communicate, flirt online is vastly different. I bet you. Is Black Lavender still here? Does he just pop in and out just to show me he's around and leave? Adam, do you still flirt with people? I like writing notes and poetry. Aw, that's the old school way to do it. Now that will capture someone's heart and heartbeat. Everyone flirt with JC Bear. I think everyone does flirt with JC Bear. I am going to drop the link. What, do you think it's still important to flirt as you get older? I do. Little kids flirt. They naturally flirt. Haven't you seen it happen? Where is my link? Okay. Did I copy it? I'm throwing down the link. Would you like to share and tell me about flirting? Let's flirt. Let's party. Oh. Music? Did you say music? Is it going to let me have music? Maybe. No, you cannot do that to me. What? Come on, people. Who's dancing? Anybody dancing? Are we at the party yet? Have you got your alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage with you? Okay. Who wants to ask the question? Let's see. Vintage asked, I have a fun question. How do you feel about pickup artists? I have never experienced a pickup artist. What do they actually do? You're in the hospital, Paranormal Witch Pixie? What happened to you? What happened? Tell us what happened. I didn't know you were in the hospital. Sending prayers of healing to you. Tell us what. Can you tell us why you're in the hospital? Let me say it that way first. Oh no, that is very painful. Are they going to do surgery, or what is the plan? Everybody send out lots of love and prayers and light to Paranormal Witch Pixie. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Whoa. Hello, Jenny. I'm bringing up Jenny.
Can you hear me?
That's terrible. Yes.
Oh, wait, I got my YouTube up, don't I? Yes, I closed it.
How are you?
I'm good. Wow, I'm like zoomed in. I'm good. How are you?
See if I can throw us back. I forget about that.
There. That's better. I feel better.
Now we're in a field of amethyst jewels.
As you can tell, Billy's still awake, so I can't stay long, but I have things I have to say about flirting. And I also don't know if I'm like really good at it or really bad at it. So maybe you can define.
Hey, Billy!
He's like, he heard your voice, so he's like looking at the screen right now. So when I met my husband, I gave him a Hershey's Kiss finally, and that was my way of flirting. And it worked. He asked me out on a date.
Now, that's pretty cute, actually.
Okay. I was like, but I think I just kind of bat my eyelashes and I don't know about flirting when you're in a relationship. I'm so old school that Pete and I didn't even like talk to other guys, but I think it was cute when he would go to like Tim Hortons, like the drive-through, and like the girl would be like kind of, you know, bat her eyelashes at him or kind of give him a little smile. And I saw the boost in his ego, and it was cute. It's not hard. It's harmless.
It helps people feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I have been in nursing homes to go visit my grandma or my great grandma or whoever. They flirt in the nursing homes all the time.
Oh yeah. And they don't care. Now Billy's trying to flirt with you, Dana.
Hey, let him come flirt. But look, little ones do it naturally. Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy Bear.
He got scared all of a sudden.
Hello, Billy Bear. Oh.
Right. He was napping earlier, so he just woke up, and I'm like, oh, good, it's going to be a late night. It's going to be a late night.
But, I mean, it's just like, little kids do it naturally. They give each other little looks. You've seen it.
Let's talk about Billy's first day of daycare. He's
Right.
a baby at 12 months old, and his first day of daycare was playing peekaboo with 3 little baby girls. Who teaches him these things?
It's just like an innate thing, right?
Yeah. Cute.
And I think that, like girls, for instance, you don't even think about the fact, especially if it's a girl with a guy,
Yeah.
you don't even think about the fact that you have a tendency to grab your hair.
Oh, I do that. I think I do that. But that's just because I'm shy. Is that flirting?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're interested in someone,
Yeah.
you have a tendency to grab your hair. Now, look, girls or guys, whether you're interested in girls or guys, whatever denomination it is, girls, guys, whatever. When you're interested in someone, you have a tendency to glance at them more. You have a tendency to turn your body towards them. You have a tendency to open up your arms toward them. You have a tendency to open up your feet towards them. Even if you're in a group of people. And that shows that you are more interested in what they have to say. And often it's unconscious.
Yeah, I was going to say it's unconscious. I think it's so I can keep an eye on them. I was just like just looking.
And these days, it's like we talked about last time, and Shan brought up, we are supposed to be careful just about touching people without their permission.
Yeah.
But if we're talking to someone and they just barely touch our, just lightly touch our arm or our hand, like if someone's telling a joke and you just barely touch them like that,
yeah,
that shows interest. That's flirting.
Okay.
Unless it's, someone that you're growing a friendship with, that shows interest too, in a different way.
Oh, sorry. I want to tell a story though. It's funny. When we were going, I think you should still flirt and date your spouse. So Pete and I went on a date to this restaurant, and I don't know what the waitress was thinking. She must have thought I was his sister. She flirted with him the whole dinner, and Pete was so uncomfortable and so worried that I was mad. And I wasn't mad. I'm thinking this is hilarious, right? So I just didn't say anything. And the fact that I didn't say anything drove him wild. So he was panicked, and this girl did everything, but she sat on his lap. By the end of the day, she's on his lap. And I'm like, so he's gonna cry. He's so upset. And I'm thinking it's hilarious. I thought it was funny because it sure gave him an ego boost, but he was sure worried about my reaction.
Wow. You took it like a champ though.
She gave him it was so obvious that it was what's happening here? She even gave him his number. She on the when they write their name, the waitress name, and say thank you, she wrote her number.
You are very vocal, Mr. Billy.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go because he's just taken over, and I apologize. He wants to flirt. He is a flirt.
That's okay.
Yeah. You are.
Billy, how are you doing? I know.
Getting late for you. You woke up. Okay.
Thank you for sharing your stories.
Yes, that's how I landed my husband. I flirted, couldn't figure out what to do, so I went and I gave him a Hershey's kiss. a little candy and it worked.
Oh, he's so precious.
And then look what happened. This is what happened.
And he is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. All right. Have a good night, Dana.
You too.
Bye.
Night, night, Billy. Night, night. So precious. Hey, Priya. How are you? So I'm going to drop the link again. How hard is it to flirt online, and how different is it versus in person? Do you like it better or is it worse? Is it hard to read between the lines? I like flirting in person. Now, I haven't had that much, or barely any actually, experience online. I have seen some of the skeezy, I say skeezy, well, yeah, I'm going to say skeezy, because a lot of them are definitely catfish trying to drop me lines on Instagram, because you look and they've put all their pictures on there in one day. So you know they're playing some kind of game. And that's an automatic. I'm going to block them. I don't even want them, following me whatsoever. That's a red flag and dangerous. Hey, Susan, how are you? She said, checking in a little late, long day at Valley of the Kings. Valley of the Kings, they rescue a lot of wild animals and take care of them. If you ever get a chance to check it out, please do. They do a wonderful job taking care of a lot of our endangered animals. Hello, JC Bear.
Hello. Bear hugs, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday night.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. My dinner's arrived, so I'm just letting it cool. I figured I'd drop in to entice other people to come in to the chat.
They shouldn't be scared of me.
No, you shouldn't be scared. And you know what? We've all had flirting successes. We've all had flirting fails. It's like, it's all good. Like I said in the chat, it's like, the old one, like, did it, Dana, let's role play. I'm going to say, did it hurt, Dana?
Did what hurt, JC?
When you fell from heaven.
What?
When you fell from heaven. Exactly. That's the reaction you'd get. Or you go, some bad one-liners men should never use, like, you're a 9 and with me, you could be a 10.
Oh, yeah, those are so bad.
Oh, God, yeah. So I've had some female friends tell me, and I just facepalm when we used to go out clubbing and at the bars, and I just shook my head and all that.
But some of them make you laugh.
True.
So they do work because they're so corny.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had, some people go, you can do better than that if you want to get my attention. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. And it turns into a really nice flirting. Online flirting, it takes a little more because you don't get the voice tone. Unless you're doing like a FaceTime, it's just basically reading text. And that's where things can go sideways quite quickly. Like something that may be come across innocently and a little more aggressive verbally in a text and come across quite crude.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be prepared for that. I flirt wherever I go. Just even like a big old smile under. We're still on lockdown here. We're only on the next level up, so we still have to wear masks and stuff. So, women have gotten the art down of using their eyes to convey like the stuff, and I think men are just, trying to do that or being forced to do that now. Eyes, tilt of the head, same thing. Your body position. When I've gone in the stores for electronics, they'll always put me with the younger woman, and we always chat. So I flirt. I compliment her nails if I see that they're done, or I compliment their hair, trying to get a better deal, and I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take the better deal. I mean, I've seen in the old days, I used to see my mom flirt with the butcher. Again, better cut, or a special discount type of thing. So
All day
it
long.
doesn't hurt. Yeah, all day long. Wherever you can get a discount nowadays, you have to make ends meet. But yeah, I think flirting is good and healthy, as long as you know there's a difference
Boundary.
between, as long as you know that there's different when you're in a singles meet and flirting, as opposed to flirting with a colleague. Like, I've given compliments to colleagues and I go, wow, I don't know what it is, but you have I'm very careful because of the way things are nowadays, that I go, you just have a wonderful energy about you today. And sometimes they do, because I don't want to compliment anything physically in case it's taken the wrong way.
Yeah. But I'm the type of, maybe it's because I'm from the South, maybe it's because it's just the way I am, but I have a tendency to just be that way with everybody that I know. Because I like to pick something genuinely out about somebody. If I feel it, I say it to them, and it's not necessarily flirting.
True. And you know what? It is an ego boost, especially for guys. Like, well, I guess for everybody, but it's nice when a woman flirts back with you. It's like, yeah, maybe I did coordinate correctly today, or maybe, it's a nice little boost of confidence. But where the thing goes awry is where you think it's more, when it's just nothing but a
Yeah,
flirtatious compliment. And I think sometimes that's where we're losing a little bit. That's going into a weird gray area.
yeah. I mean,
But
I've seen a lady go into a Dollar General. She was an older lady, and the sun was shining, and she looked at me, and her eyes were just like the ocean. And I told her, I said, "You have the most beautiful aquamarine eyes I've ever seen." And they were. And I wanted to tell her that because she looked like she needed to hear something good. And I wanted to be genuine about what I said. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think when you're single, or if you're going out in a singles environment, it's that all crucial eye contact when you're
Yeah.
meeting somebody. Like, if they're not looking back at you in the eyes, or that they're looking off and you're talking to them,
Yeah.
take the hint, guys. Whoever
True.
your objective is, they're not into you.
Or
And
if they kind of close their arms or kind of move their body position, take the
exactly,
hint.
take the hint. And I think that's where there are some things that we've lost over the years, especially with the online items coming on into the fold, and with the pandemic. There are there are certain signals that you learned as you were growing up and interacting socially. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. I have no problems flirting if I sense the person is a playful person, and
Yeah.
and and you're just doing a transaction. It's different when you're doing it in retail versus doing it in something else. I find it's a lot easier.
Do you see original Dawson Girl London Girls comment? My
Oh my
flirting
God.
in lockdown has been saved for all my delivery guys, especially my postman, poor fellow.
Oh, come on. Original Dawson, come on to the stream. I want to hear that special flirtation in that British voice. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I love
Come
her
on.
so much.
Come into the stream. You cannot resist the bear's request, okay? Come on, come on, come on. Share with us. But yeah, I think it's healthy. It's good for our egos. It's good. I think, like I said, it's just knowing where it's just for fun, and knowing when to take it to that little next step. Like, For me, I always do, hey, would you like to grab a coffee on break?
Yeah.
Because there's a start and a end time. You can kind of get the feeling for a person if you're in the workplace. But again, that's dangerous territory too.
I'm serious, and I realized I was flirting as I was attracted to him.
With, come on. Oh, come on. Original Dawson. You cannot say that in the chat and not come into the live. Come on into the live, and you got to explain a little more. This is for some fun.
Her energy just is so contagious. Here we go.
Oh, God, yeah.
Here we go. Listen. I think I've got us. I think, I try to put good juju before I come on. And it affects my phone. I swear it does. Oh, a commercial. Geez, thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, come on, Original Dawson girl. Come on in.
But anyway, yeah. And I've seen... here it goes. Hold on. One day, technology is going to allow us to transport to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Via YouTube. Here comes London Girl. Hello, London Girl.
Okay, come on. You got to share, London Girl. You got to share. You can't just post something like that in the chat and not share.
I like a bit of background music. That was nice, Dana.
Yeah, me too. I do. It's been so long since I've been dancing. I mean, outside the house.
Yeah. I have, just to take aside from flirting, I have theme songs. I don't know if you remember Ally McBeal.
Yes. Well,
Ally McBeal, and then everyone had a little theme song. So I've been finding each month what's been really helpful for me if I get in a funk, especially working all day from home, is hey gorgeous. Is I bring out one of my theme songs. So in January it was Lizzo, Juice.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, and then I'm a really big Drag Race fan, so it became whatever the lip sync song was. So just the point is, put some music on, dance for a few minutes to that tune, and everything gets going again, and your vibrations waved and you raised and you've had a good time. But as for flirting, and I'm not an expert at all, I turn into a 15-year-old person if there's attraction, right? So I think what JC Bear said in his beautiful dulcet tones was really true, right? You can pay compliments to people. And that is something we should all be doing as human beings, really raising up people around us by, if we notice something that's beautiful about them, that we think's beautiful, just sharing it with them. And I think the difference between compliments and flirting is attraction, right?
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah. Because you can be attracted and not act on it.
Yeah, because and that's what I'm getting to. So for me, I know I'm flirting, especially when I'm attracted to someone. It doesn't mean that I want to go out with that person, but there's some kind of attraction happening. It might be a new friend, it might be something, but you're flirting to show off a mutual attraction, right? Or that your subconscious indicators are starting to happen when you find you're attractive to someone. So my example of this would be the postman. So,
that story about you're the postman's child.
Oh my God, when you said that, I thought of that old film, The Postman Always Rings Twice, and I thought, no, stop it.
Oh my God, so funny. So,
wasn't that a dirty movie?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm so innocent. But I don't think it was. But you might be thinking of another version of that movie.
I don't know. I didn't see it, but I can remember my
Oh,
mom and dad seeing it.
JC, was it a dirty movie?
I have to, it was years ago that I seen it. I'd have to go back, but that headline, that movie just popped into my head when you mentioned the postman. And I kept thinking, there's this hunky UPS guy making deliveries to London Girl, and she's flirting, and I'm like, you go for it. You go for it. Because you know what? Lockdown isn't going to be here forever. And you know what? Never hurts to go out for lunch or drinks.
There's
No,
nothing worse than
no,
answering the
there's
door and your glasses are on and your hair's dirty and they're good looking.
So during lockdown, because everything, especially at the beginning, so it's a year now for me in lockdown in London, and we're working from home for a year, so a lot of things had to be delivered in the very beginning, and so this postman, I'd get the same postman, and it would always, deliveries would always be between 11 and 12 a.m. And I've got a slight ankle injury, and so the first few times I went to the door, he was like, oh, hi, here you are, oh. So next few times, oh, you're ordering a lot of stuff, aren't you? And then the third few times, I realised that either I was starved of attention from human beings, so I was kind of like, hi, morning, how are you? I was like, oh, what's going on here? This is a bit weird that you're not acting like a normal person with a normal delivery. And then it was because he started talking a little bit. He'd say, oh, is your ankle still bad, blah blah blah, and then he just disappeared for like a month or 2 months during lockdown. He just disappeared, and I was like, what's up with this postman? He's gone. I don't know where he is. He's not on the round. Anyway, after about a month, he came back, and I was so excited to see him. I was like, oh my god, how are you? Where have you been? Is everything all right? Because I thought, okay, he's not around. He might have COVID, right? That was my first thought. Anyway, turns out he'd done something to his back, and we had a conversation about back pain, and it was really nice. I was still flirting, and this is where it comes a bit tricky, because I'm flirting with someone I don't really know, and I'm not really sure whether it was genuinely an attraction or just the fact that I'm not in contact with human beings. You know what I mean? I couldn't quite figure out where it was.
Matter.
Yeah, but
he was probably getting a lot of the good vibes just because I wasn't really in contact with people in real life. So then, and this is an amazing story. So about a month ago with the last delivery, and now I realise that, he's just a nice guy to talk to. Do you know what I mean? Just, how you doing? Everything all right with COVID? It's brilliant that you're out working, how's... And also I found out he's not single. He's got a full proper thing going on in his life. So it just became instantly still flirting, but more from just an attractive, you're a nice human being. So about a month ago, he delivered something. He said, oh, it's the anniversary, don't you? And I was like, anniversary of what? And he said, it's the anniversary of when I found a baby abandoned in the church. We've got a church just up our road. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he said, about a year ago, where I parked up my van is by the church, and I heard something. And he said, I didn't think it sounded very similar to a cat, but he said he had a gut feeling that it wasn't just a cat. So he went to investigate, and there was a baby at this church, and it was crying, and it was literally a few hours old. So he called the police. I think the vicar came out, and the police took it away. Anyway, I looked him up. Yeah, in all the papers, Posty saves baby. So after that, I was just like, was this attraction because this is kind of like a really good human being? Do you know what I mean? It was like, because he's done amazing. That's an amazing story, right? Finding and saving a baby that had just been abandoned at this church. So I realized that he would probably be just somebody I would hang out with in real life. And so I was attracted, I obviously picked up something from him that I was attracted to. it turns out that it wasn't an attraction in terms of I want to go out with this person, but it's attraction as in, we would get on. We would go and have a coffee. So
Yeah.
I was attracted to his vibration as much as anything else, because you've got to be a really good person to follow up on something you felt inside and knew that you had to check and found out it was a baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just hear something and walk off. So yeah, I'm explaining it in a funny way, but yeah, that's how I know when I'm flirting. There's some sort of attraction there, as opposed to just complimenting someone.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
It's so
And so-
true.
And sometimes it can come from the most unexpected places. The
Yeah.
most unexpected places, and you're like, oh, like you're thinking, why are you hanging around me? Like, I don't think I'm, all that and so forth. And suddenly you have these people that are around you, and you're like, wow, that's a hot guy or a hot girl or so forth. And yet they're still, chatting with me and getting along with me. And then, you realize that they just like being around you.
Well, this is it. And as you're talking, JCB, I'm realizing that in lockdown, our eyes are so important, right? Because when we're out in public, we've got masks on, and those
Yeah.
social cues that are those subconscious ones about licking your lips or showing your teeth. We are unable to show someone that. So the eyes, which are the what to the soul?
Windows.
Thank you. The eyes, which are the windows to the soul, then play this massive part in how we interact with people. And I think it's a really good thing, because I do think that pre-lockdown, people weren't really looking people in the eyes a lot. If that,
No.
it wasn't like a comfortable, natural, it didn't feel comfortable and natural for a lot of people. And so maybe as we come out of lockdown, this will be something that stays, is that our eye contact.
Yeah.
Because it is very affirming just to have someone look at you human to human, right? Whether you're flirting or not, it's affirming to have someone acknowledge you in that way.
Absolutely.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, pre-mask, and look, it's by virtue of the fact that I'm just weird. Let's just face it. But I always made a point. I mean, I didn't stare people down, because that's just, stalkery. But I always made a point to look people in the eye to say, I see you.
Yes. Yeah.
Human to human, I see you.
Yeah.
I honor you. I respect you. I see you.
Yeah. I just think it's so important, right? And so maybe that's going to be one of the things that stays, is that we have that I see you thing about us, and not just, like in a shop, forget that the person who's handing us our money or packing our bag is a human. We forget all these humans sometimes. So or some people do, but I want to continue the thing of eye contact and thinking, am I really smizing, like Tyra Banks would say? Are my eyes smiling and, what did she say? Smiling.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it means, but she has this thing called smizing.
Smiling and doing your eyes. Because if you have a genuine smile, your eyes crinkle.
Yeah.
You wrinkle, the eyes wrinkle a little bit and your eyes crinkle. If you're faking a smile, your eyes don't move.
Right.
Now, London girl, may I ask you a question?
You may not have an answer, but please ask.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, have you ever flirted via text?
Listen, I am old school, so my online dating, and often my dates were, I spend a lot of time when I'm online dating exchanging texts. I'm a super flirter on text and email.
Okay, cool. Now, I'd like to ask the ladies on the panel and in the room, when you're looking at a man's eyes, Think back to when you were single, Dana. Think back to when you were single. How could you tell from a man's eyes? Like for men, when they're looking at a woman's eyes, you can see them, batting the eyelashes, that kind of coy look look into and like look off a little bit and so forth. So for women, how do you tell from a man's eyes that they're flirting?
Well, if they're genuinely interested in me, there's a tenderness in the eyes that
And
you
also-
can't fake.
sorry.
Go ahead, Lyndon.
Also, it's the size of the pupils, right? So
Yeah.
the pupils dilate. And then that's what I really look for. Once I found that out, I was like, okay, is this person attracted to me? And because they're not necessarily realizing that their body is their eyes are sending this message to me. So I know, but I for me personally, I always look at the size of the pupils.
And plus, they can't hold eye contact for any length. The eyes will veer away if they're uncomfortable and they really don't want anything in this
Yeah.
because they feel guilty.
Now, I have another question for the lady, or for anybody in the room. When you've been, let's say you've had a casual flirting with somebody, and let's say it's just in passing, and you've chatted and you flirted, and let's say the flirtation has ended, and you're going to go your own ways. Do you ever look back at the person?
What do you mean look back?
Yes.
Like as you're walking away, do you kind of tilt your head to see if they're still looking at you?
Yeah.
If I'm still interested, I do. I mean, usually if you're still interested, you'll look back. And if they look back, there's still something there.
Well, hopefully you've looked back at the same time.
Yeah. And called each other. Yeah.
So I had this happen to me when someone was really interested in me in my building at work. And I didn't know, and to be honest, I didn't think he was into women. So I was just having normal conversations with him. And I didn't realize the whole time he actually wanted to go out with me. And as you said that, JC, I remembered I was walking through the lobby and we just said hello in passing. He was coming out, I was going in. We got a massive lobby. And I just remember us both turning back to smile. So yeah, I think when you do have that attraction and you've just exchanged a nice glance like I did, it was really funny how we both looked back to see if each other was not necessarily see each other was looking back, but it was just this weird but nice moment of, oh, okay, we're both looking at each other as we walk away. Hi, bye.
And was there any follow-up after that interaction, London girl?
This is a story for another night.
Oh, you tease. You tease. And we will remember that.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to.
This is after. So what do? We do flirting, dating, relationship. Yeah, this is about five or 6 or 15 shows away. This story.
Oh, you tease. I love it.
Oh, Dana. I can't hear you.
Yeah, it seems you're on mute.
Oops, I did it again. I think I sit on I got a cordless headphone for Christmas, and I don't know how to connect it to my laptop, and my beautiful daughter is supposed to do that for me, and she keeps forgetting. So I don't have to have a cord. I sit on it, and I mute myself.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Which is my fault.
For the people, I'm just curious, has it changed for younger people compared to what we've gone through? the whole flirting steps?
I feel sad in a way because I like the more in person flirting. I think they don't know a lot about what it's like because they do so much of it on their phone.
True. There's a different type of energy when you're with somebody, and you can also read that energy a lot more when you're in person. It's sometimes you can feel like, I don't know if this is the right thing, but it's sometimes you can feel like a warmth when
Oh, yeah.
somebody is into you. And I don't know whether it's your body generating that or whether it's their body generating it towards you.
It's
I'm
both.
not.
When there is an actual interest on both parts, there is a chemical. How do I say it? It's a chemical thing, but it's also an energetic thing that if you had a certain camera that you were using, you could see the charge going on between the two persons, literally. So when you're feeling that, it's legitimately happening. I mean,
So
if I had a
yeah.
camera, you would be able to see it.
So that you're both passing off some chemical reaction, is that what you're saying?
You're passing off a chemical reaction, but there's also an energetic field happening.
Oh.
So if I had a certain camera that was taking live video or even still shots, you would be able to see the charge going on.
Right, I understand.
In real time.
I understand.
You know, people used to think, "Oh, I feel this thing between us. I feel this energy, this charge going on between us. Ooh, I hope they feel it too." Well, guess what they do? When it's that strong, they do. And if you had that camera, these days you would actually be able to see it. Just like now, you can have a camera and you can do you put an imprint of your hand and see the energetic field still left behind from your hand.
Right.
It's the same. It's what I'm trying to explain. You can see that field going on.
Right, okay. Okay, so JC, what are the answers to those questions that you asked us? Because we're 2-1, ladies to men here, and I'm interested to hear the male
That's all. Yeah.
Oh, for flirting, or for which question?
So you asked us about when we walk past someone and they look back, and then
Yes.
and the second question was around flirting on text, was it? I can't remember.
Yes. Oh, I have flirted. I have flirted on text too. I had to change my game as soon as dating apps and so forth came online, and it's interesting. It's like if I put out a flirt and I don't get like a response back, I usually wait a few minutes and I go, I didn't mean to put you off. It's just that I find you attractive and so forth. And then all of a sudden I'll get this cascade of messages coming back, or because sometimes you can do a misstep when texting. There are sometimes I don't flirt with anybody, like we're just having a normal conversation, and suddenly, boom, this stuff slips into my DMs, and I'm like, wow, I never really thought that you viewed me like that. And if it's someone that I'm really not interested in, I said, thank you for the compliment, but I don't view you that way. So that way I can stop it before it goes across the line. When it's in person, I find it a lot more easier in person because you can kind of feel. I'm still learning from you guys about, vibration and energy and stuff like that. That's what comes sometimes I'll just listen and stay in the chat. I won't come on because for me, that's still a little new. So, but it's like when I've been flirting in person, I'll do the look back if it's just to see if they're looking back too. And it's that's why I was asking about that whole like for me, it's like a body heat that you can feel coming from the person when you're really flirting and they're receptive to it and you're receptive to it. That's why I was asking. It's like I prefer the in-person flirts.
Oh yeah, 100%. I do.
But
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I was thinking about am I saying your name right, Dana?
Dana, yeah.
Good. Okay. So I was thinking about what you were saying about younger people and their and how they may flirt now. Is the art of flirting gone because they're spending a lot more time at home or on their devices and engaging in that way? So my observation from my friends who are younger than me, like in their 30s, is they will have a few people on the go from the app just chit-chatting to them, but they won't spend a lot of time before they go into real person. Do you know what I mean? So it might
Yeah.
just be a few days of exchanges and then they're really keen to meet that person in person where they can safely. So some of my friends in lockdown were when we weren't in our strict lockdown, I think it was when we could meet 6 people, would, meet someone on an app, exchange for a while, check that they do really vibe, and then go out and meet them. Because otherwise, you can spend a long time texting, you can spend a long time in your head about the outcome. And then when you meet the person, it's just like, oh, okay, so we just get on chatting, but in person, I'm not attracted to you at all.
Right.
So rather than waste that time, the learning for me is just like, okay, we're going to have a few exchanges, see that we get on, talk on the phone, and then I will arrange a coffee with that person.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like though too, remember when you could go to a club or go where there was a group of people and you could kind of feel things out and you had all these options and you could just flirt as it went. You didn't know where the night was going to take you.
Yeah.
And now you kind of end up flirting with one person at a time. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, so you're saying that when you're in crowded spaces, you might be doing your hobby, you might be at a dance class, you might be in, but just when you're when you're amongst lots of people like a club, you are interacting with a lot of people. So you're kind of checking out who is in the room, who is on the dance floor that you like, and you're spending a lot more time with a lot more people. So, and especially when you go out clubbing, you're flirting a lot. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a skill. You're building a skill instead of using flirting to become a satellite missile and pinpoint a person down.
Right. So that's really true, actually, and I really hope that when we come out of lockdown, because as you're saying that, I'm remembering all the great places I used to go to dancing, and you would just strike up conversations in the toilet queue or I know that sounds a bit weird, but I'm getting somewhere here. So you would make friends of people who'd bring you into their circle, at that part of the room, and then you'd go off and you'd go back to the bar and there'd be other people you'd chat to there. So yeah, oh my God, I really want to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like people to learn that it can be a skill that you're not necessarily looking to try to mate with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that
you don't necessarily have to bed somebody.
Yes.
No, it's social networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, because it isn't that, unless that's your mission, to bed someone at the end of the night, it's nice to share attractions via flirting.
Right. It can be innocent. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to go have sex with somebody tonight.
Yeah, that's the difference between a pickup artist and someone on the make, and someone who is generally just a good person that likes to go out, have a good time, and if they meet somebody, they meet somebody.
And they can just flirt a little, be innocent about it.
Yeah, yes. I think there's a lot of times people go out with a goal, and I think maybe guys go out with the goal that tonight I'm going to be doing this, and it's like that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and they end up disappointed. You go,
Yeah.
and that's why I tried to tell some of the younger guys, just go out, have fun, and if you meet somebody, great, exchange numbers. But if you may happen to get lucky, and that's great, but that shouldn't be the goal of the night, because you can end up being disappointed more often than going, and you're concentrating on that goal, and
Right.
you're missing all these other opportunities to have fun and flirt and meet people.
Exactly. See how you said it? Have you ever heard somebody go, "Oh, they're just a flirt. They're fun. They're just a flirt. Don't worry."
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
That is my point. They're nice. They're fun. That's a nice guy. That's a nice girl. You don't have to worry. They're just a flirt. They're a lot of fun. That's my friend. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, absolutely. And I think it combines with what JC Bear said about what's your intent. So
Yeah.
personally, for me, my intent is going out and having a good dance. Hanging out with my
Oh,
friends. We go to the club, we have a good dance, and then anything else is a bonus, right? Because you've already identified the kind of place you want to hang out with, so you know you're going to enjoy it. You may know who the DJs playing that night are, or the kind of style of music. So that's already, yeah, I'm gonna be having fun because I'm going into a place that I enjoy, and then everything else from that point is a bonus. But my
yeah.
focus is not necessarily meeting a guy, but it's having fun. It's having a great dance.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm married. I'm loyal. I would never cheat, ever. But if I went dancing, I would have fun. You get what I'm saying? If I went with my girlfriends dancing somewhere, I would
Yeah.
have fun. I would dance with a guy. I would not feel guilty about it.
Because it's just a dance, and you're both enjoying the music. And I think people put so much pressure, and especially some of the younger ones put so much pressure on themselves that, like I said, the goal should be just to go out and have fun and meet people and let it happen, as opposed to this is what I want to achieve by the end of the night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have a relationship with my husband. We trust each other 100. So I don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
No.
Others might.
And also I think that if I think about younger people and how different my experience is to people now growing up, I didn't have access to I didn't have if I wanted to look at naughty stuff, say, I had to go out and search for it, or it was in paper form. Now that
Right.
now that this generation and the generation before
Is that your
have all this access, there's an instant gratification. I think that is that is quite dominant in them because they're able to get everything very very quickly from the internet, including
absolutely.
all kinds of different all kinds of different things, which I wasn't that wasn't my life growing up. I do think there's an instant gratification, which speaks to what you were saying, JC, about some of your male friends having a goal in picking up a girl, and that's the only goal, well, picking up someone.
Hmm. And part of the problem with that, my personal belief, part of the problem is that when you have all of that instant gratification around you and you're accessing it, it really does give you an unrealistic view. Like, the view is warped from what the reality is in some
Yeah.
cases. And that, I think, is where some of our younger folks may be getting a very distorted view on expectations and how things are supposed to go. It's like I tell some of my younger guy friends, if you haven't gotten turned down, which is totally natural and happens, I said, then
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh, we've lost the bear. So one thing I wanted to say.
Going to like you. Not everybody's going to want to have conversations with you and all that. That's just normal. It happens to everybody. But sometimes I think that they get this distorted view that if they flirt and let's say they fail or they got shot down, that it's a personal affront. And it's like, and it shouldn't be. It just, it happens. You're not going to be able to flirt and engage everybody and everybody's going to be receptive to it.
No.
Okay. So I have to drop off, but
No.
But I just wanted to say the thing that's the most important in this whole dating and whatever is friendship first. That's that's always been my my motto, if you like. So friendship first, and then everything grows from there. And then friendship first. So
but
go on.
Oh no, please finish, and then I just want to add something to that.
No, I think I had. You're stopping me rambling. Great.
Oh no, it's just that I think guys get very afraid when they hear friend zone.
Right, but I don't mean friend zone as in you're expressing it. I just mean that the basis of any great relationship is based on friendship. Which
oh god, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Putting someone in a friend zone, so you're building stuff on, your desire for human contact, your attractiveness in terms of the things that you have in common, like Adam's saying, your shared interests, and that is friendship, right? You're doing stuff together, and then stuff can build from there. So even though I've flirted with someone, say I've met someone in a club, we've exchanged phone numbers, we're texting, we're going to meet up again, I would still base it just on friendship.
That's cool. Like, I mean, for me, if somebody loves exploring like new restaurants, new food, stuff like that, and you have that common interest of exploring the city or something else, that's a great start. And I have the COVID belly to prove it.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
So guys, thank you so much for having me. I will I'm going to drop down to the chat and maybe sleep because it's 1:18 in the morning.
It's always a joy to have you.
Thank you.
Always fun.
Thank you. Speak soon. Take care.
Oh, she dropped real quick. And Adam said, talk about things that you're both have in common. And that is so true. Find things that you have in common. Go a little deeper. If you're interested in the person, of course.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's just so many things and so many things that you can do nowadays together and explore. And sometimes also, if it's something neither one of you have done and you've always wanted to try it, that's always something good. Like if somebody's never been to a museum and you've never been, well, go and see what's on and go and try it. If somebody, wants to do bike riding, like along the paths and so forth, try it. Like there's different things, there's new experiences you can form together as well.
Not to get off track, I just saw this week, my birthday's coming up, and they have this bungee exercise. Have you seen that?
Where? No, I don't think so. So describe.
It's like bungee cords from the ceiling, and you strap them around your body, and you basically do exercise, and it bounces you off the ground into the air.
Oh wow! So are you and the hubby going to go to a class together?
Oh, I want to go so bad. I can't stand it. It looks cool.
Oh, that would be cool to try. But that's something that if you're interested in somebody and there's something that you want to try and maybe they haven't, it's a suggestion.
Yeah.
To say, hey, do you want to meet here? Like rock climbing, indoor rock climbing. I've never done it, but if I was gonna go out with somebody and they've never done it, I'd be like, hey, do you want to try it together? So you start building common interests if you don't have any. Oh, yes. And when is your birthday?
Oh, no, I just saw that and I thought, oh, I want to do that so bad.
Eden, come into the room and tell us when the birthday is.
And I'll be 100 years old.
Well, like I tell people, I was born in the Hebrew year 5725. Okay.
It's in April. April 3rd.
Oh, just past Easter this year.
Yeah, but I'm Aries, but I don't suit Aries for whatever reason. I don't. Everybody tells me I don't. I had what is it called when they stick needles in you? Acupuncturist. She told me, she said, "Oh, you're an Aries, but you're more like a air or water sign." I said, "I know, I don't understand it." But I don't know much about astrology either, so.
Oh, wow.
You would think I would, but I don't.
Everybody has their strengths. Like I said, there are times when you have a chat topic up, if I don't know much about it, I'll be in the chat and be listening to the others, because that's how you learn.
Yeah. I will get more to about energy and stuff like that as we go along, and develop or pull up experiments that I know where you can feel it yourself from home. I want people to be able to explore it and sense it more in a tangible way, more than me just spewing out words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, as far as going back to the flirting thing, I would like for the younger, I say like I'm 100 years old, but the younger people to be able to explore flirting as a skill. I mean, truly.
Yeah, but it is, and it's a learned skill.
I mean, there's some guys, if they're flirting and they crash and burn, they get pissed off.
Oh yeah, they take it as a personal affront to their ego.
And they'll take it out on whoever, they think didn't accept it well.
Yes, I have seen that in back in my clubbing days, and it's not pretty.
No.
And this is what I also tried to tell some of the younger guys when I was taking my university courses. And they dragged me out to some of the clubs, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to come as the old guy. So, some of them get shot down, and their reactions are so negative that everybody that they're associated with is attributed to that. It's like the whole group of guys gets labeled like, okay, they're idiots or they're fools or so forth. And I go, it doesn't matter if you liked one of the women in that group. I said, because the way your friend reacted, I said, she's going to think twice about even having any interaction with you.
Oh, absolutely. And the people, you're right, the people you hang around are a direct reflection.
And I also informed them, because they were kind of surprised, that you do realize that women will chat to each other. And they go, what do you mean? I said, because your friend acted like a real AASS, when they're waiting in line for the washroom or in the washroom, if it's very noticeable, another woman or so forth from another group will say, well, what happened? Is it an ex or so? And then they'll talk. So literally your own reputation gets labeled because of that idiot. And if you don't think that women will talk to each other, they do.
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
they don't have to be best buds to say that guy was an idiot. Keep clear.
Gina Maxey says a wrong flirting skill can be a disaster. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're first starting out, trust me, you're fumbling trying to find the right thing to doing, right?
That's a good point. And handling rejection. Maybe I'll do a live on handling rejection. People do need to learn to deal with it better, because sometimes rejection is not a reflection on you. Sometimes rejection is the person themselves dealing with things.
And I think guys should be taking that class,
Yeah.
because I think they take it directly. Some men take it directly to their ego with disastrous effects.
And it brings out how I talked about if people compartmentalize their feelings and don't dig through them and work through them as they should,
Mhm.
those are the disastrous effects that you speak about. If they are not dealing with rejection well, they may have something they have compartmentalized from childhood or a trauma or abuse or something of that effect. And they get triggered from the rejection, and up comes that little box that they have compartmentalized. And
Yeah.
so it gets triggered, and they are either acting out and doing self medication, or they are getting in a fight with somebody, or becoming abusive, or something just not good.
No, that's true. And the thing is that I think sometimes we're being taught that everybody's going to love you, everybody's going to do this, everybody's going to do that. Well, that's not really the way the world works. It's okay to be rejected because that person wasn't
For you.
for you, or it maybe she or he is looking for something different that they don't feel you can offer, and that's okay, because there could be somebody else waiting in the wings coming in that you haven't met yet.
And sometimes the person that you are trying to attract to yourself or get a date with, for lack of better, maybe you are selling yourself short or aiming low or what have you, or you have not done the work on yourself that you need to do. Right?
Sure.
So
Now,
they don't belong in your life.
now Gina, you're making that as a statement. You don't believe that about yourself, do you?
Rejection can be, what'd she say? I can't see it.
Rejection can be blamed completely on me.
What?
No.
No. Gina, come on, really? Do you believe that?
No.
That is not true. Rejection cannot be blamed completely on you. Sometimes if you're thinking it can be blamed on you, it's about your belief system. It's not about you as the person or the individual. Maybe it's about expectation. You walk out expecting that. Does that make sense? Sometimes we get what we expect. It's not about what we deserve. Original Dawson Girl. I was enjoying listening to you. I'm well, my dear, and you. Okay, good. Hey, Queen Bee. I mean, if I walk out and I'm going to flirt with somebody and I expect it to go in the crapper, and I walk out with that energy and that attitude, 99% chance it's going to go in the crapper. Because I'm already expecting that. Does that make sense, JC Bear?
Yes. It's like, look, I've gone out, I've been rejected, I've had my flirts fail, the whole thing. And you know what? If you're going to the same area or clubs, it's interesting because when you don't let it be a reflection on you or your ego, and you just move on, and next time you see them at a club or something, you just nod hi and you keep going, you'd be amazed. Sometimes their perception of you changes, and all of a sudden they're pursuing you. But you never take it as you're the reason for the rejection, because
Right.
they don't know you well enough to even make that type of sound, that type of thing. And you shouldn't believe that about yourself.
And sometimes you can be like, I can remember going somewhere, and if I don't know people when I'm going into a new place, this was a long time ago. I've learned a lot since then. I was very young. I went into a new place, didn't know people. It was a new job. I was kind of quiet and to myself, and it was when I first went there. And again, I was kind of quiet to myself because I was brand new, didn't know anybody. And I was told after they got to know me that at first they thought I was stuck up and had an attitude. Why? Because I was kind of shy, quiet, and to myself. It was the complete opposite. That's the way I was feeling, shy to myself, and they were making an assumption
Hmm.
that was 180 degrees different than what the truth was.
Yep.
Because
And
they
and you
didn't know me.
yeah, and you can apply the same thing to flirting. It's that initial starting to get to know somebody, but it's never, you can't really take it straight to the heart or to your ego because they don't know all about you.
No.
That's just the initial thing. It really struck me hard, your statement, because I don't really think that you can say that it's, completely on me. I just don't believe that. There's no way. Mm-mm.
No. I mean, people make so many. My dad used to say, never assume because you always make an ass out of you and me.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing. Like maybe whoever you're flirting with just isn't there to meet anybody. They just want to be out amongst people and listening to music and having a couple of drinks. I mean, back in my day when I used to go out and flirt and and approach somebody. I mean, I've had, you know, women turn around and say, thanks, but I'm just out with my girlfriends. We just want to dance and enjoy each other's company tonight, maybe another time. It's like, oh, okay, so you're out here just to party. Okay, cool. And you back off. But I didn't take it as, oh, you're not good enough for me, or, oh, I approached them wrong. They're just there to have a party and go out and enjoy themselves. And, over the time, if you go back to the same place, you can always try again. But don't take it that it's always on you. No, 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 no.
No. I mean, come on now. Everybody here, you're here for a reason. Let me say that. I I feel wholeheartedly that your vibe does attract your tribe. You all have a certain energy to you and a light of being and a love and a kindness. Everybody asks about everybody when you come in here. Have you noticed? Just like when you go to Adams or whatever. Everybody asks about everybody. Everybody cares about how everybody's doing. You're a certain kind of people. So you attract a certain kind of people in your life. If you're running into people that it's not working out, they don't belong in your life. It's plain and simple. So you kind of have to thank your lucky stars. If they don't match, you don't want them.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
more stress down the line.
That's true. Now, my pizza is here and it's at the perfect eating temperature because I was lazy today. Yes, I'm having pizza. Don't judge me. Double pepperoni and with mozzarella. Um, and that's because I was too lazy to make something else. So I am going to drop down and listen. And oh, come on, Queen Bee, you can come on, Vintage, share your stuff. And
go eat your pizza. It's been delightful to have you on.
Always a pleasure coming to your channel. I always look forward to the start of my Saturday nights here. And I will be listening. So come on, you guys, come up here. Can't only just be me, an original Dalston girl. I know Vintage. I know you've got some stories. I know you've got a couple. Come on. Anyways, I shall see you later. I'll be listening from the chat, and have a great night.
No problem. You have a great night too. Enjoy your dinner.
Yes, I am. Pizza
All right.
awaits.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, he's going to eat his pizza, and we've been talking about our getting our flirt on. I hope you've enjoyed some of the chat. I guess if no one else is going to come up and talk about flirting or lack thereof, we will start wrapping it up. But let's think about that. Writing notes to people, writing love letters, giving a little wink here and there, telling people, what we think. If we think they look good that day, giving them a little nudge here and there, making them feel good. There's nothing wrong with doing innocent flirting. And if you're interested in someone, boost your skill of flirting. It doesn't have to live just a line with emojis, right? And I love that Jenny came up. And wait till that Billy gets older. Oh, here comes Vintage. Let me get you up, Vintage. Hello, Vintage.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm peachy, thank you.
Love your hair.
Oh, yeah, it's looking very skunky. I wasn't expecting it to look so patchy as it was growing back out.
I don't think it looks patchy. I think it looks cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
So we're getting a little warmer?
Yeah, I've been wearing all kinds of hats because it's still really cold in New York City, and I did not think this through.
So do you not have any heat inside? Or no?
I have heat, but I live in a really old house, so the pipes are really old, so heat kind
Gotcha.
of it's
Uneven?
Yeah.
That's the way it is in my house, too. My house is old, so it's really warm in spots and cold in others.
Yeah, same. Old house. And you live in the South, right?
Oh, yeah. It's obvious. Can't you tell?
But I heard a rumor. So
What?
houses that are cyclical,
Yeah.
the devil hides in corners or something like that, or attacks people in corners. So there's something about cyclical houses, like colonial houses.
Yeah, mine's not colonial, though. But, yeah,
Neither is mine.
there's something about it. My house is more like, it was built in 1955, and then they added on to it in a weird kind of way. Like they added on to the end of it, and then they added on to another part of it, so it's built like a Z.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I also found out that the original people that lived in this house were actually related to me, which was weird because I didn't know it until after I moved in it.
You have a lot of serendipity around you.
Yeah. I also found out that the man that added on to part of this house killed himself after he lost his family, and they said he did not do it here, but I don't believe it.
You did mention ghosts.
Yeah. So
maybe that ghost was flirting with you.
I don't know. When we were painting this house, we had walked outside, and my mom was trying to get some paint off the floor, and my dad was still alive then, and she heard somebody say, "Angela, come on. Come on." And then she went outside, and we were all outside, which meant there was nobody in the house to say that to her. And she heard somebody say, "Get out of here." So it was a ghost.
That's some paranormal flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's still good looking at her age, so.
That's interesting, though, because I definitely feel that a place can hold on to a certain kind of energy. So, yeah.
Not to get off topic, but to explain that, a place holding on to a certain kind of energy, you know what? I'm going to eventually have to have some of these kind of shows. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but I'm going to have some spiritual shows, since that is part of my background. But anyway, I studied with Raymond Moody and William Roll. And William Roll, God rest his soul, he died a few years ago. He was one of the head parapsychologists in probably the world. But he did a lot of studies in homes can, like wood and brick and old, I'm trying to remember, stucco and stuff like that, can hold energy in the walls, especially with wood. It's sort of like when you have recordings, because it holds it in the wood and everything like a recording. The energy gets trapped.
That's actually very interesting, because even with old records, I feel like because you can catch the ridges of certain sounds, it's different from like listening to something that's digital.
Yeah. So it's like that's why you think that places are haunted, and it's really I'm trying to think of the word for it. I'm glitchy tonight. The word is called I'll think of it later. But it's not really a haunting. It's just the house is replaying old memories. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Very Amityville horror.
It's like replaying an old recording.
Yeah. Well, I know in Japan, if something bad happens in an apartment or a house, the property value instantly goes down, because they believe it's that haunting is permanent. So
Where is my, what did she say? Where is my hat with the ear flap? Oh, JC Bear. She doesn't always have to wear the hat. She's got gorgeous hair.
I've got another one. My cousin made me this.
When I don't blow this up, it's hard for me to see that. There it is. I play different musical instruments, and I would write songs for the person. Oh, Adam, let me
I've
tell
tried
you.
That's why I play the ukulele. I would try to what's that Steve Martin movie where he plays the ukulele? I actually mastered that in high school. Didn't get me anywhere.
Talking about getting to a girl's heart. Writing songs and playing instruments.
I always found that food is the way to a woman's heart.
Oh, and to a man's.
Oh, to anyone's, especially if it's made from scratch.
And writing songs and playing music, if you know they're the slightest bit interested, that's swoon worthy.
Yeah, if you do it well.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, so I'm from New York City, so a lot of my friends would try to do the punk rock approach. Like I don't need to know how to learn my instrument. I could just
Yeah, I don't know about punk rock. That would be screechy for me.
Yeah, it's more like the visuals, like, oh my gosh, he doesn't care what he looks like.
If it was jazz, pop, R&B, maybe some hip hop, I could deal with any of that. Rock, but punk, that would be hard. But even a love note.
Oh,
but that goes beyond flirting, I think. Asking the chat, do you think a love note goes beyond flirting? Probably.
Definitely. Personally, ever since quarantine, I've been writing letters to my friends. I have a sealing wax set, so every letter gets my special insignia on the back of the letter, and all of my friends have been very impressed. Now, I haven't gotten any letters back, but I'm very hopeful.
My daughter has one of those. I like that. It looks good when she does it.
Yeah, it's really cute. I've got my name is actually Carolina, so I've got my C, and I've got a little bird that you can dip into like a silver and then black wax, so it looks really cool. And I seal all of my letters.
You would hate to open them when it looks that pretty.
But that's usually why they cut the top, with like an envelope. You know.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. Very smart.
But I've been very surprised because all of my friends are artists. It's just, I feel like sometimes even a flirt, we were talking about like that friendship flirt, even sending something as it's just a letter. And yeah, I'll be like, I will say some intimate things like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking of you. What you doing? It's still flirting, but in that friendship realm.
Now, I will tell you, when I was about to get married to my first husband, that marriage should have never happened. The best thing that came out of it was my Noah, which I do believe that that marriage had to happen for him to be here because having Noah impacted my life so greatly. I had to learn, you know what I mean? I had to have him in my life. Anyway, rewind. Before I got married the first time, I was working at a Montessori, which is a advanced learning for little kids. And there was a guy that worked there. And I was engaged, about to get married. And there was this intense attraction between the both of us. And he would flirt every day when I would come to work. And it wasn't a skeezy flirt, it wasn't an over the top flirt, but there was this intense electricity going on.
I sometimes I feel like a flirt can almost even be a form of camaraderie. Does that make sense?
Look, and I probably should have. It was to the point that it was nothing overt he was doing, but something energetic between us that I should have called off my wedding. It was an odd,
Serious allegations.
it was an odd thing that I can't even explain. And then one time, all the kids were going in, and he never did anything out of the way. All the kids were going in, and he went to throw the ball, and it bounced back, and we were going in, and he kissed me real quick. And that's the only out of the way thing he did. And he looked embarrassed. I was so close to canceling my wedding, and I should have.
Oh my God.
I think about it to this day. To this day.
Oh my, I do believe I'm getting the vapors.
Is that not odd?
That's odd. Yeah, it's a coincidence. But I think if we're talking about flirting, I'm sure that there was like a physical attraction as far as eye contact and that casual conversation that feels just natural.
Yeah, and we weren't even, because we had to take care of and teach kids, we weren't even in each other's spaces very long.
Yeah, but still there was like a camaraderie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just spilled some serious tea.
Serious tea.
That's serious tea. Like how many days before the wedding?
Up until the last minute. I should have. And you know, if you ever see this, he will know who he is.
Oh my God. Wow. So are you guys still friends?
No, don't you call me.
Yeah, no. I'm all the way in New York City. You're safe.
Listen to you.
Wow. See, but that's something about a flirt. Like
that's strong. Yeah.
That's why I mentioned like pickup artists where there's that manipulation of conversation, someone who easily can maneuver their way in versus something that's almost physical and emotional. Because I feel like there's a kind of physicality that with eye contact and atmosphere, that's a different kind of connection.
Tell me more about pickup artists. I know very little about that.
Oh, pickup artists. Anyone in the chat want to call in? Because this is a really fun one. Pickup artists. So I read a book a very long time ago called The Game. You don't have to wear that. Oh, bear. Oh, but now I'm cold and I feel comfortable. So a pickup artist is pretty much someone who could walk into a bar and know certain maneuvers as far as catching game. Like there is something in the book as far as approaching a woman, you would never go behind her so that she has to turn around completely, because that causes a certain kind of detriment. Oh, my
Yeah.
anxiety. So they need to see you from peripheral before you come in, like weird little things like that. And even how to introduce yourself into a conversation by either making the target feel worse or less than, and that's how you manipulate her to want your attention, because you're hitting on someone else even though your target's the prerogative. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to read more about that. I mean, I've heard the word pickup artist.
Yeah.
And about picking up women to make. I've heard it in the sense that they try to target women to get money and stuff like that, right?
No, maybe now that's what it was. The book that I read was The Game, and it was, I think, written in the early 2000s or something like that. And this is mostly for like nerds to break into a conversation at a club, to break into conversation to get the ladies. Whereas now it might be something different, because I'm sure it's expanded. But it is a form of manipulation through conversation to get whatever it is you want.
Wow. Okay. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to read up more on that.
The fact that it's been broken down into a science is very interesting. So I met a pickup artist in Japan who actually did a bunch of talks. Japan being the most xenophobic group of people I've met. So it makes sense that they would need some kind of social something to sort of maneuver their way through conversation. But I thought it was, a lot of the stuff he was saying was very strange.
Wow. So what is the full outcome for them when they do this?
Numbers.
Money?
No, just numbers in bed. It's just, it's, a lot of the people who do this or go into these talks are socially awkward folks who can't really talk to women, or they have that kind of social anxiety. So they need to have some kind of principle or technique in order to build that confidence, to have the ability to build themselves up until they can speak to someone.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and that's also something that's interesting, because the entire premise of the book is like, oh, well, you just need to build yourself up so that you feel confident enough in yourself to put yourself out there.
Now, that being interesting, have you noticed so many of these people, guys, coming on Instagram trying to pick up people or women, and they layer all our pictures in the same day, and they're sliding into your DMs trying to get you interested, and if you don't answer them, they start getting aggressive.
Oh, well, I don't have Instagram, but I have a lot of my male friends. When they get lonely enough, I get a lot of special pictures. And if I don't respond to them, yeah, they get pretty pissed. I don't understand that. I think it's a form of glorification. I mean, if I feel like, I don't want to generalize, but I do feel like men have very sensitive egos. So when they put themselves, or when anyone puts themselves out there in an intimate way and they're not being reciprocated, there's that moment of aggression, like, oh, do you not see my beauty?
I mean, these are men I don't know, and I definitely don't want to see their weenus.
We call it the Oscar Mayer.
Well, to me, sorry guys, it's just Doesn't do a thing for me to see it. No, sorry.
See, like, I love that before guys used to like write poems and like do these kind of like gratifications like flowers, and now you could just get like a certain kind of picture and be like, oh wow, okay. Or just an emoji of an eggplant and a peach and a question mark. That is romance. Talk about flirting. What would you do if you got an eggplant and a question mark at 2 a.m.?
I mean, I got an eggplant, didn't know what it was about. My daughter had to tell me.
What? Who sent you an eggplant?
Some guy in the UK. You know,
Is that worth the plane ticket though?
the emoji.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, Mom, you got an eggplant. I'm going to tell Dad. What? It's an eggplant. It's a vegetable. Mom, do you know what that means?
Yeah, that's what flirting has become.
So it was a whole thing. I mean, she was going to throw me under the bus. But I had already told Stephen. I didn't know what it was.
I can't believe Eden would throw you under the bus for that.
And so he and I were laughing about it, right? Because I was already telling him, look at what this idiot's doing, right? He and I already had a conversation. She broke into my phone and saw it. So
I love that you used the phrase broke into your phone. So like she was like ninjaing in.
So no, she literally broke into my phone from her phone.
Yeah, that's some hacker stuff.
So she and I had to have a discussion about privacy. So I said, let me see your phone. Her eyes got like this.
Oh my gosh.
We had to have a discussion about respect and privacy. I didn't care what she saw because it was nothing. You know what I mean?
I love that you had to have a conversation about protection and privacy because she hacked into your phone.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. She's a ninja.
Oh, she's definitely a ninja.
Yeah, she's a ninja. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
My mom. This guy is flirting with my mom. Do you see? I said, Aiden. He said, jerk. I said, do you see what I'm writing? But Mom, he gave you a... I said, Aiden, your dad knows.
See, flirting has definitely changed.
It's crazy. That's not even flirting. That's just disgusting. I mean,
So that's disgusting. I got a free cookie today though, so.
but you don't have... Oh, you got a free cookie?
I did. So I went to my favorite sandwich place. I rode my bike yesterday and they were like, can you wait 5 minutes? And I waited 5 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, I was like, screw this. And I left. And then today I was like, I still need that sandwich. And then they were like, I'm so sorry. Honey, I'm so sorry. My name's Maria. Can I give you a free cookie? And I was like, I don't like sweets. And she's like, well, I'm going to give you 2 cookies then. So I got cookies.
Did you eat them?
No, I gave them to my dad. I don't like sweets.
Oh. Mrs. Dear Dana, is this a class you failed?
Oh, with flirting?
No. No.
Like, I want to know what your flirt game is. Are you like, hi?
Who, me?
Yeah, like, what's your flirt game?
I think initially I would do it and not realize I was doing it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because generally just try to be nice to people.
Well, I also feel like I react to someone else's atmosphere. So if someone is being bubbly to me, I just respond to that. And I don't even realize I'm flirting until I walk out with free cookies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be grumpy to people. I want people to feel better when they're around me. But I try to keep it where I'm not going over the line and they're not getting the wrong message.
Oh, yeah.
But when I'm out and about and there's men around, I don't do anything weird. Now, if it's an old man or something, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, an old man, absolutely. They
I'm,
love that stuff.
I'm going to be flirty with an old man, 100%.
My abuelito, before he passed, so he was like, he's 90, he was 98. He used to flirt with every single woman while holding abuelita's arm, and he'd be like, yes, ladies, yes. And it was the cutest thing, and everyone thought it was adorable. I mean, obviously, except my grandmother, but yes. He was like,
Yes.
he was the flirting king.
And my grandmother, she was the sweetest thing that God ever put breath in on my mom's side. And she's beautiful. And then if some man would be really sweet to her or tell her she was beautiful, she would just be all, prim and proper and sweet and eat it up all day long. So it really does do people good if you measure it out properly.
Well, I mean, a flirt, there are different kinds of flirting, I think. I mean, if you're just flirting for that kind of intimacy, not like in a sexual way, but like a humanistic kind of intimacy, I think it's really cute. You're sort of connecting or goofing off with each other in a certain way. Of course, flirting in another manner is something else, and then you get that vibe from that. But
you get me exactly in a humanistic way. I mean, that's the school of thought I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like medicine for the soul, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, well, who doesn't like a smile? Like, hey, you look cute today. Of course, you're going to be like, oh, thank you. It's just, there is that kind of humanistic connection that doesn't need to be sexual or like, I want something from you. It's just a conversation like, oh my goodness, look at you. And it could be between same-sex people or whatever. It's just that kind of,
it can be
especially now, a lot of those humanistic approaches are getting kind of lost with technology. So having that interaction, I think, is really sweet.
And it needs to be genuine.
Yes.
And the flirting, that's what my point was, the art of flirting. It's an art. And it needs to be genuine, and it needs to be from the heart. It doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't mean you're going to marry the person tomorrow. There's an art to it, and there are levels to it.
Yes.
If you want to date somebody, there's a certain kind of flirting. Some people do it just because they're trying to bed somebody, and they're usually disgusting about it. If you're trying to connect with somebody and brighten their day, that's a whole nother kind of flirting. That's the point I've been trying to make to people. And this whole Instagram technology thing, that's a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah. Well, I think, well, I don't have Instagram, but a lot of my friends that do, one of the things that confuses me is you can perpetuate whatever you want anyone to see.
Yeah.
And it might not exactly be you, but it might be the things that you want seen. So it's still a part of you, but it's still kind of surface. So if that's what you're perpetuating, what you're going to get back is surface.
Right. It's an essence of you.
Yeah.
So if you
it's
get
like the resume of you, not
right.
really the internalized part of you.
I mean, people are doing a filter of themselves.
Oh, is that where you put like the big eyes? Like
do what now?
Like the filters where you can put all kinds of stuff around you?
Yeah, they can change the shape of their face and change their eyes and do this and that and the other. Erase things about themselves. So you may not be getting the true person, right? And then they can share what they want about themselves. You don't know who you're really getting.
Creepy.
Right. I mean, you can do on Instagram and all this. You don't know who you're getting. You don't know who you're getting. Some people may be genuine, some may be not.
So what would you recommend moving forward as far as, because I definitely don't see technology going away, as far as adapting oneself to the dating scene or the flirting scene with technology, what would you recommend? Because personally, I'm an 80s baby again. Like, I'm used to eye contact and that repertoire that goes when you have that little dance of conversation, and you don't really get that. There's always something lost in translation with technology because you're always interpreting something, you're reading something, but you're interpreting and you don't really hear the other person's voice.
I like the fact that, you can explore each other's brains. If you go solely on the conversation, I would say ask questions that are open-ended. Like
that's a very good point.
Like, why are you thinking this way? Let me hear more. That kind of thing. So you can go deeper about who the person is instead of just flat yes or no questions or surfacey questions. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And then try to take it offline as quickly as possible.
Oh, JC Bear actually mentioned this. I think it was on Shannon Van's one of Shannon Van's dating shows. But like, once you can just quickly start communicating, so you can hear the person's voice.
Yeah, I mean, hear their voice. Do FaceTime, so you see them, you hear them, and do a background check, of course, if you plan on dating them. Yeah, always. Investigate.
Okay, got it.
Don't trust just what they're saying unless you know somebody that knows them or you already knew them.
See, but that's also something I miss. I always used to date someone from a friend or like a friend of a friend of a friend. And that was just how things went. But now no one really hangs out anymore. So.
And, I have found a lot of people will try to, and there's nothing wrong with it because it's intriguing and we're on the net and we can, once upon a time, we depended on dating people close to us, 10 miles away, 5 miles away, 20. Now we can connect with people in the UK, in Africa, in Scotland, and wherever. But the problem with that is, to some degree, we do it so it creates a barrier. But eventually, we might be able to see them, right? But it still creates a safeguard in a way.
I never actually thought about it like that, but that's very interesting. Having that kind of safeguard, especially now, that's interesting because even back in the 90s when the internet, even though you were speaking to people from different areas, it didn't feel like it is now, where that is like, oh, well, I'm chatting with you in South Africa, but there's still that option of maybe we're going to meet soon.
Right.
Whereas I think before with like AOL 2.1 or 2.0, there was never that option. It was just like, we're just chatting in a room.
Yeah.
We're never going to meet. Like
yeah.
That early on. But now, yeah, that makes sense.
But now it gets to the point where you're like, oh, we might meet. Now what? But then you kind of get stuck. You feel like it's safe to a point.
Yeah, but like, I'm sorry. I also watch Up and Adam. I'm still waiting for Hermione and Pops to meet.
Oh, I know.
They could have their own show, and I would watch it.
I know. We need to have prayers for her.
Okay.
She recently had a heart attack.
Yeah, I know. Sending prayers out to her.
Yeah, she's had a real tough time. But yeah, I would love so much for her and Pops to connect.
It's not just me, right? Like every time they chat, it's so cute.
There's just a spark.
I know. It is so cute. Oh, see I'm sorry. Like next time if you have another conversation about flirting, you should just invite Pops, and he can give everyone advice.
I talked to
everyone
Jason.
Advice.
I talked to Jason today and said, "Is there any way we could get Pops on tonight if he's awake and around?" And Jason called Pops, and Pops didn't pick up.
Oh,
so I was trying to get him on because I said he's the biggest flirt I know.
Oh my God! Every single woman loves Pops. Like everyone. Like, oh my God, Pops. And there was that one episode where he was like, I want everyone to guess what job I had. And everyone was like, detective, narcotics officer. And he was like, well, yeah, I did all of that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And did you hear him? Was it today? Yesterday when he said, yeah, I want to say thanks to this ex-wife.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because she's the one that encouraged me to go to the doctor. And Adam was like, which one? And he said,
exactly, which one? And
he said, it's her birthday. She turned 50. And he's like 70 something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She just turned 50.
Yeah, you should have a flirt lesson and have Pops, just write down some basic rules as far as how to, and I know what he's going to say, like be empathetic, listen, and appreciate the woman you're talking to. I know he's going to be suave.
Don't you know women were on him like syrup on pancakes?
Oh, yes, I do. It was hilarious. It was
Listen,
so cute.
Next Friday, when I talk to him again, I'm going to talk to him and say, Pops, we need to have you set up on my show especially and have flirting part 2.
Yes. Because, some of us don't know,
I bet he's a pro.
Yeah. Which ex-wife? I'm sorry. Which grandchild?
Pops, can you have one of your ex-wives or girlfriends on here with you that you're still acrimonious with, so we can see why she fell for you?
No, you see what? This is what I adore about him. He's acrimonious with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's still friends with everyone. He's not that kind of guy who's just like, no, he's still friends with everyone. That's what makes him Pops.
He asked me if I had a sister.
Wait, do you?
Because I'm married. No, I don't have a sister.
Oh my God, that is so cute. That is so Pops. Oh. That man.
He looks so much like Adam.
Oh yeah, especially when he brought out the old picture. It's all in the eyebrows.
And the nose and eyes.
Yeah, the entire construction of the face. You can see it. Absolutely.
And the fact they haven't known each other but like the last year or two.
Yeah, I remember the first episode of Up with Pops, and I was shocked. Like they just sort of encountered, or what was it, through Heritage, that Heritage site. He was
and Ellen.
Yeah. And it's fascinating because they look exactly the same.
I wanted him on tonight so bad I couldn't stand it.
Well, yeah, we need to know his skills.
Now, it would have been a hoot if he'd shown up. I tried.
Oh my gosh, he would have been a hoot. He's always a hoot.
That man. I'm surprised he hadn't snagged a woman yet. He's trying.
He's trying to snag a woman. Oh, well.
Look, if you look on the comments of Adam's show yesterday, people were asking about him if he was single. And he said he was so-and-so and that he was single and ready or something. There's some, you should go look.
I'm going to. Are you kidding me? That is adorable. See, I feel like I would have learned a lot about flirting from Pops. Um, I think he is a renaissance man in flirting, especially because I feel like currently flirting has changed. I don't know. He has a kind of je ne sais quoi
Hmm.
and a kindness about him. So like he's flirting, but it's not it's not like empty. It's not an empty heart or some kind of shallow nonsense. Like he actually wants to listen and care. Like he takes the initiative. And I feel like that's something very lost. Like Humphrey Bogart, he always used to say that he was like the man of the century because he was born in 1900. And there's something about like that debonair kind of man that's very much lost, I feel like now. Because a lot of the people I meet are very much shallow and you don't really get much substance.
Yeah.
So flirting is a conversation. You have to be able to hold your own because it is still a conversational dance. And if you don't have anything to offer, it comes off shallow.
And I like the wordplay of flirting sometimes too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. The cleverness sometimes, it's just that subtle.
One of my favorite films is His Gal Friday with Cary Grant, and like that kind of tit and tat between the two characters, it sort of creates a kind of romance that sort of builds up between the two personalities. And I feel like sometimes that gets lost now, unfortunately.
And there's just sometimes there's just a slight undertone
Yes.
where people would question whether it really was flirting. You get me?
Oh, that's true.
But you know, it's just that slight undertone, that slight tension, and you kind of know it's flirting, but it's not overt. It's that skill.
Yes. A lot of my male friends that do that though, they try to leave the door open so they'll flirt, but not so much. Like they kind of teeter that line. They're still offering you something, but they're not giving it away. It's weird. Flirting.
If it's handled properly and it's back and forth like a tennis match, then it's good.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's a skill. It's an art. And there's just different levels of flirting. And it's about body language. And soon I'm going to do a whole thing on body language.
Yeah, I'd be, especially last week when you mentioned body language concerning other things, I thought that was very interesting. Because I wonder, so I lived in a variety of other countries before, and body language plays a huge thing. Like even in Japan, certain gestures that you do, even with flirting, like in Japan, a high-pitched voice is considered very attractive. Like, that's considered very attractive, which makes no sense to me. But there are certain kinds of flirting in other cultures that I found very interesting, like social standards that you have to take.
Yeah. And part of psychology and part of what I studied, body language was key because sometimes people won't talk. Or if you're dealing with law enforcement or dealing with those kind of cases with the courts, sometimes people won't give you the information that you're looking for. So body language was imperative. So we got to learn a lot of that. I drive my daughter crazy. So she'll go, and I'll go, Eden, don't, blah, 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 blah. Mom, I didn't do anything. I said, you don't have to do anything. I saw it in your body language. So she'll,
Yeah.
right? Your body language can tell you a million times more than words. It's so subtle. and
That's-
micro that it's really amazing.
It is. One of the things that I always found interesting is in the animal kingdom, when you show your teeth, it's considered aggressive, but it's only in humans where you show your teeth. It's like, oh, hey, I'm smiling.
And like with cats, if you blink slowly.
Oh, yes. It's like a sign of love.
Yeah.
It's trust. I love that.
I mean, there's just so many subtle things, even with humans. When I said if, a genuine smile would be your eyes crinkle up.
Yes, you mentioned that earlier. That's your smile lines come up.
And when it's fake, it's just, this is all bland and doesn't move. Your mouth just moves.
Yeah, I've seen the deadpan eyes. They're a little creepy.
Yeah. So, anyway, we can go down the rabbit hole really deep.
I know. It's true.
But I guess I better start wrapping this up.
Thank you so much.
I wish Pop would have come. We would have just taken him to town.
Are you kidding me? Oh, Pops is the best.
Tonight's video is so nice, light but meaningful. Your other videos have started but could not watch in the evening. I have sleep hygiene regimen. Must be calm and relaxed to sleep. Well, thank you for coming, Robin and Gina Maxie. But anyway, we have our music. I'm going to start figuring out how to be able to key music into the videos. I'm still learning. I'm still a baby YouTuber. And
so I see videos every week. I adore you. My cousin actually hasn't figured out how to log in. She's in Chile. I share your videos to all my friends because I think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Venom. Vintage optimism. I got tongue-tied. When I say things to the kids in the morning, they think I'm cray-cray. Because when I teach like I'm Sesame Street on drugs. No. Hey, YouTube, yeah. I don't do drugs, YouTube. But I'll do things like this. They laugh, I don't take myself seriously.
Yeah, when I taught in Japan, you have to go from like nothing to high tension. All right, everybody, let's go. Yeah, I understand.
Did you ever? I didn't see an email from you. Did you send me an email?
I did. I sent you an email at your
Miracle 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I started looking into the OutSchool program.
Okay, so is it under vintage? I'll go look it up again.
Oh, I think it's under Humsbugs. That's my Gmail. Humsbugs, like humbug, but Humsbug.
Okay, I'll look that, okay?
Because
I think I was looking for it there and I didn't see it. Spell it for me.
Oh, HUMS bug, BUG. Humsbug.
Okay, I'll look for it like today or tomorrow for sure and reply. Okay. But anyway, I love all of you. Thank you for coming. Listen, please tell your friends or anyone you know if they have a problem and they want some objective advice to please DM me on Instagram or send me, a message here. They can put it in the chat and I will give them, advice. I am educated in it. I'll give them advice. Or they can come on live with me on any of these lives that I have. It doesn't have to be on a specific category. And I will try to help them work out a problem. Make sense? That was originally I've got, again, allergy medicine and talking so much, I get dry mouth. That was originally the primary premise of Dear Dana, to be an advice channel and then add commentary and topics and everything else. So anyway, if anyone needs advice, I'm here to help you. I also am willing to take, if you have topics or other things that you would like to approach on here, I'm all ears. Because I would like to dive into other things. Maybe we would like to look into, so, I'm up for looking into some crimes if you want to.
Wow.
To pick apart. I have done that in my past. I went down the rabbit hole with one last year on my podcast.
Oh my gosh. I'm so curious about your list of rabbit holes.
I'm like a lifetime student, which actually makes me a big nerd.
Nerd.
So I just didn't want to be a one-trick pony and just be an advice channel, because I've spent my lifetime learning. So anyway, let's go back to I love you. I'm glad you're here. I hope to see you again on Wednesday. I'm not sure what topic I'm going to be approaching, but I will let you know. And thank you again for being here. Have a great rest of the weekend. And I will see you later.
Cuídate. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Take it easy, Breezy. And we are out.